What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the stimulus package update, daily news, everything you need to know about what's going on in our country, money, investing, and the stock market. Remember that new videos come out here on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. Last night, President Biden finally signed the bill to raise the debt ceiling. He had it on his desk and finally signed it last night at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. This happened at only 4 days before the debt limits would have expired, and we would have had a default, a first ever for the country, and the Treasury would have literally run out of money. So they did it with 4 days to spare. And remember that this is only a temporary expiration or a temporary kick the can down the road bill. This actually raises the debt limit by $480 billion. It actually doesn't have a date on it. It's just raising the debt limit by $480 billion. So it's basically expected to go till around early December. The estimated date is December 3rd. So they're going to have to either raise the debt limit again by a Republican-Democrat agreement, of which Mitch McConnell says, no, Republicans are not going to help you raise it again after Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he basically bashed the Republicans right after the 11 Republicans helped him pass the vote. He slammed them, and the Republicans said, okay, next time around, we're not giving you our vote. So he's basically saying the Democrats are going to have to do it through the stimulus package. So the Democrats have to pass the stimulus package here before then, or else we're in deep trouble. Yeah. Also, last night, former President Bill Clinton was hospitalized with sepsis. Yes, our thoughts and prayers go out with him, and this may be life-threatening, but they're saying he's okay. Here's the update. Two people familiar with the matter told The Hill that former President Bill Clinton, who is 75 years old, was hospitalized due to sepsis. Another source said that Clinton is doing well and is currently in the ICU for privacy reasons. The former president was admitted to the University of California Irvine Medical Center, according to Clinton's spokesperson, Angel Urena. Urena said that Clinton is on the mend and is in good spirits. Here's a statement from his spokesperson. On Tuesday evening, President Clinton was admitted to the UCI Medical Center to receive treatment for a non-COVID related infection. He is on the mend in good spirits and is incredibly thankful to the doctors, nurses, and staff providing him with excellent care. They also shared a joint statement from his physicians that said, quote, President Clinton was taken to UC Irvine Medical Center and diagnosed with an infection. He was admitted to the hospital for close monitoring and administered IV antibiotics and fluids. He remains at the hospital for continuous monitoring. And after 2 days of treatment, his white blood cell count is trending down and he is responding to antibiotics well. The California-based medical team has been in constant communication with the president's New York-based medical team, including his cardiologist. We hope to have him go home soon. Note that Bill Clinton has a history of heart issues and he underwent a quadruple bypass heart surgery in 2004. And he has had several arteries were more than 90% blocked in the past at that time. He also underwent another heart procedure in 2010 to restore blood flow to another one of his coronary arteries. So yeah, he has sepsis. It could be serious, but they're saying he's doing well. Our thoughts and prayers go out to him and the family. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'll keep you up to date, and we'll see what happens. Ever since the debt limit has been passed, now that the president has signed it last night, stocks have been doing tremendously well. They were trending down as the thought of default was doing. The thought of default could actually happen, and stocks are now doing really, really well. Yesterday's stocks ended up, the Dow Jones Index ended up over 500 points. Up 532 points yesterday, the best performance since March for the S&P 500, and the Dow Jones up over 500 points yesterday. Stocks have been on an absolute tear here since the end of last week when the Senate actually passed the debt limit in the Senate and the House passed it here just a few days ago. Now the president has signed it. So clear sailing right now for the stock market. And for anybody that has money in stocks has been doing pretty well here the last few days because, well, the country is not going to default, at least for the near term. Things have been doing pretty decently well. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis pledges to sue the Biden administration over vaccine mandates. Yeah, there's going to be some court battles over this one. Let me know your thoughts on this one and let me know what side you're on. Here's the details. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who is a stark Republican and is considered to be probably the other leading candidate for a Republican possible president candidate besides former President Donald Trump. It's probably those two are the most likely Republican candidates to challenge the current president, President Biden, in the next presidential race. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Republican, on Thursday pledged to contest the Biden administration's employer virus vaccine mandate in court, saying that, quote, he is offended it could wind up taking away jobs. He says, quote, let's not have Biden come in and effectively take away or threaten to take away the jobs of people who have been working hard throughout this entire pandemic. DeSantis said during a Thursday news conference on the monoclonal antibody treatments in Fort Myers. He says, quote, I am offended that a police officer could potentially lose their job, end quote. DeSantis' comments come in a response to a mandate Biden issued last month calling for private businesses with 100 workers or more to require employees to be vaccinated against the virus. He also called for federal employees and those employed by healthcare providers to follow similar requirements. He says, quote, we have a responsibility at the state level to do whatever we need to do to protect Floridians from mandates that could result in them losing their jobs. We have to protect the jobs of Floridians, Governor DeSantis said on Thursday. The governor said during the conference that any lawsuits the states filed against the federal mandates will be made in the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. He says, quote, I just think it's fundamentally wrong to be taking people's jobs away, particularly given the situation that we see ourselves facing with the economy where you need people in a lot of these key areas, he said, referencing essential workers and those who have remained on the front lines of the pandemic. What's going to happen with these hospitals if these mandates are allowed to go in where they already need more nurses? This comes as the White House on Tuesday pushed back on other GOP governors such as DeSantis and Texas Governor Greg Abbott seeking to ban vaccine mandates in their states as well. Quote, Texas Governor Greg Abbott's executive order banning mandates, and I would also note the announcement of Governor DeSantis this morning essentially banning the implementation of mandates fit a familiar pattern we've seen putting politics ahead of public health, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki told reporters at the time. So let me know your thoughts. Are you on the side of Republican governors from Florida, Ron DeSantis, and Republican governors Greg Abbott from Texas? Are you on their side, or do you think that these state governors do not really have the authority to override the president and the presidential authority. One thing's for sure, we're going to see these battle out in the states, state courts, and maybe even the federal courts and the Supreme Courts. As of right now, we have not seen a lot of these courts overrule hardly any of these vaccine mandates. The vaccine mandates have been held up in almost every court ruling that I have seen, just to let you know there. I'm not like picking sides or anything like that, but we have not seen the mandates be overturned in court rulings as of yet. So, in fact, just to show you guys some quick headlines, why lawsuits against vaccine mandates will likely fail. There is a long-standing precedence to back the orders. Here's from ABC News. Here's another headline. History Thursday, when the Supreme Court said yes to vaccine mandates. They have done that several times in the past. And here's a recent article from October 1st. Supreme Court Justice has turned down New York City teachers' appeal of the vaccine requirement. Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor on Friday denied an emergency appeal from a group of teachers to block New York City's vaccine mandate for public school teachers and other staff from going into effect. And in August, Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett, who is a Republican appointed by former President Donald Trump, denied an emergency appeal from students in Indiana University to block that institution's vaccine mandate. So just the history and all these different Supreme Court rulings, past and present, those are kind of the rulings. So they have just kind of been upheld over and over and over again. So we'll see what happens in the future. I'll keep you up to date. But that's kind of a quick history lesson on what has happened with vaccine mandates in the past for different vaccines and in the future on the current ones. Now, the White House is pushing Congress to reach a deal on the spending bill soon, aka the stimulus package soon. Listen to this.
How long are you willing to wait for the budget talks to reach some sort of conclusion? Is there a sense of impatience here?
I wouldn't put it in those terms, but what I would say is that the president is eager to get things done for the American people and to deliver on what he's promised. And so, as I said yesterday, the time for negotiations is not unending, and we're eager to move forward. We're eager to deliver on what he promised to the American people, which will result in addressing some of the issues I touched on earlier, making childcare more affordable, making universal pre-K a reality, addressing the climate crisis, making sure kids have clean drinking water, broadband is accessible. We're repairing roads, rails, and bridges across the country. We're eager to act. I wouldn't say it's impatience. I would say it's an interest in moving forward.
So yeah, the White House is pushing Congress to reach a deal on the spending bill soon. They want to get this deal done, especially with the president's approval rating near an all-time low. And a lot of Democrats like Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, their approval ratings at an all-time low. They could use a boost as well. Senator Bernie Sanders is blaming the spending bill delay, the stimulus package, on corporate lobbying. Yeah, I'm sure he'd blame it on Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema too, but remember, they're his fellow Democrats and he needs their votes to pass the bill. I'm sure he'd put a little bit of blame on them as well, but he's blaming the delay on corporate lobbying, which is probably true. Check this out. Bernie Sanders on Wednesday said that efforts to finalize the vote on the roughly $3.5 trillion bill, which is probably going to be a little bit less than that now, probably in the $2 trillion sum range, right? Spending bill is being delayed because of corporate lobbying. In a new op-ed published on Fox News, Sanders blames the delay on the human infrastructure bill, the stimulus package, on lobbying efforts from the pharmaceutical industry, the private health insurance industry companies, and the fossil fuel industry. Those are three big industries that I wouldn't want to have as my enemies. Yeah. He says, quote, as part of our corrupt, big money dominated political system, ouch, the pharmaceutical industry is now spending hundreds of millions of dollars on lobbying. campaign contributions and television ads to defeat this legislation because it does not want Medicare to negotiate for lower prescription drug prices, Bernie Sanders says in the op-ed. He further claims that the pharmaceutical company has hired close to 1,500 lobbyists, which is true, including former leaders from Republican to Democratic parties to, quote, protect their interests. Bernie Sanders also wrote the private health insurance industry companies were spending tens of millions of dollars as well to defeat this bill because they do not want Congress to expand Medicare to provide dental, hearing, and vision benefits. This is also true. And they apparently do not want seniors to receive the quality care they need in their homes. Sadly, Bernie Sanders is right here. They are the dental industry is doing this. The health insurance industry, health insurance companies are doing this. The pharmaceutical industry is doing this. The oil industry is doing this because none of them want change. None of them want change. They're just happy making their billions and billions and billions of dollars. And for example, like the health insurance industry, they know that if all this new coverage goes into effect, that they may have to take lower rates, and if they have to take lower rates, that they might have a lower profit margin, and if they even have a 2% lower profit margin, that could mean billions of dollars less for them, and heaven forbid that they, instead of making, I don't know, $800 billion, they make $780 billion. Yeah. Same thing with the pharmaceutical companies. You know, they're charging the United States more than any other country in the world, and they're charging all these other countries, every other country in the world, they're charging less, and they're happy as can be with that because they're still making billions of dollars off those countries. They just want to make many, many, many more billions of dollars off us, the United States, the American government, and me and you, the American people. It's nothing more than corporate greed. And honestly, they've been getting away with it for so long. They're just like, they would rather spend hundreds of millions of dollars lobbying and on ads trying to convince the American people and the congressmen and congresswomen to vote against this bill and not to let it happen, because if they spend only $100 million in this campaign to do it, that $100 million investment would turn into billions of dollars in the long run. That's how sad this is. Unfortunately, I have to be the ones here reporting this to you, but I'd rather bring you guys the truth. And I don't want to say sadly, but that's the only word that comes to mind. It seems like sadly, Bernie Sanders is like the mouthpiece, the voice of reason here. He seems to be the only person. Ironically, he did this one on Fox News, which he's a Democrat. They're a Republican station, so it's you got to have balls to be a far left Democrat. Go on Fox News. Pardon my French there. If you're offended by that comment, I try to keep it clean, but I know some people don't like stuff like that. But you got to really have the tenacity to be a far left Democrat and go on Fox News and kind of take on the pharmaceutical industry. Can you imagine doing that? Yeah. I see some comments saying, "Man, Bernie Sanders better watch out for himself, man. He's up there in age, and you're taking on the pharmaceutical industry." It's a good for him though, man. Good for him for being the voice of the people, trying to get all this done, trying to get Medicare benefits for seniors, hearing, dental, vision, even if you have some of these benefits in the future, if all these benefits go through, you may not need to pay for them anymore. You might not need to pay for Medicare Advantage benefits anymore and stuff, and all that stuff might be included. We'll have to see how all this works, right? But they say 75% of seniors do not have these benefits at all. They don't pay for these extra benefits, and they want to get these included in just the regular Medicare. And for the people that do pay for some of these extra benefits, you might not need to pay for them anymore. That could just be a savings. So We'll have to see how all this works out. And the prescription drug pricing, I mean, that could be just a pure savings for, they say, over 150 million Americans take prescription drug prices and or take prescriptions and pay for them. And man, could you imagine? Picture yourself having to take on the pharmaceutical companies, and imagine having to go out and do that, and having to take on the big oil companies. And uh, what a what a tough job. And imagine being like, just say you were a Democrat or a Republican, just pick your party, right? And imagine being like one of the lone senators out there, uh, trying to convince everybody to do this, right? What a tough job. And I really hope they get this done because, there's so many things in this package I really think are transformative, right? I really do think that there's so many things like the Medicare benefits for seniors, even if you're not like I'm 40 years old, right? And I really do think these Medicare benefits are going to help out so many people, right? Tens of millions of people that need these benefits, right? That can't afford hearing aids, that can't afford dentures, and can't afford to go to the dentist, and can't afford eyeglasses, and all these things, right? And lower the Medicare eligibility age to age 60. They say that that's going to potentially be 20 or 25 million people that are going to be able to get on Medicare right now. And there's just so many things that are in this package. Lowering the prescription drug prices here, the child tax credit brings over 50 million people, 50 million children out of poverty, and the potential of free college, just even having the option of free college, 2 years of free community college. And honestly, the cost of college now is almost $25,000 a year. Just being able to give that option to people that you can go to college, because the problem is so many people come out of high school, and the option is, well, take out student loans, and people think that I can't take out student loans for $50,000. And you know what happens is they don't end up getting a college degree, and then they're just kind of stuck, and then they end up working a minimum wage job, and they just never get ahead in life. And there's just, I mean, think about the problems we just mentioned just in 30 seconds there. So many different problems they're trying to tackle here. And that's why that big announcement we mentioned yesterday, that there is going to be another stimulus package after this. There is going to be another stimulus package after this, that we mentioned that yesterday. The Democrats have announced that there will be another one after this with the reconciliation process. And that's why they're going to get as much done in this package, but then there'll be another one after this through the reconciliation process. So that's really, really good news, because they'll get as much as they can in this package. Then there'll be another package after this, and we'll see two major packages here to get as much done as they can. So, I mean, we're in a pandemic. It's kind of this once in a generational opportunity to get a lot of these things done. Medicare benefits for seniors, free college, bring children out of poverty. We've already had three stimulus checks. We have these monthly stimulus checks for children, and who knows what could be in the future, right? A lot of these things are really game changing, and a lot of these benefits are, monthly stimulus checks for children, benefits for seniors. These Medicare benefits are going to be benefits that go forever. They don't stop. Once they're enacted, they go forever. So I think there's really a lot of good things that are in the potential of this package, and now we just have to fight off corporate greed and these huge major corporations, or not corporations, but industries. And I really hope they can get this passed, and then this next package could maybe complete everything here, and we could really, really change people's lives here with these next two packages. So let me know your thoughts. I'll keep you up to date here with everything on our channel. I really feel like, as a community here, we've kind of stuck together, and we'll maybe see some real big change here. Um, I mean, when you think about it, they've kind of got a lot done here. Three stimulus checks, monthly stimulus checks for children. Now they're talking about Medicare benefits for seniors that are going to go on forever, continue on monthly stimulus checks for children for many, many years. And who knows what else we'll see here over the course of these next two stimulus package. There's a lot that they could do here. So I'll keep you up to date here. Remember, new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. It's literally completely free to do so. I will keep you up to date with everything. You can click here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video is about the new Social Security increases that were just announced. Click here to watch that if you haven't yet. Really good information there. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.